June 2026. The crypto market is basically just sitting there. Bitcoin's going nowhere, alts are slowly bleeding out, everyone's tired of waiting. And then, out of nowhere, it happens. A handful of meme coins absolutely explode. Some of them do 50x in a single week, others in a single day. And here's the funny part. It wasn't some massive news drop. No ETF, no regulation, no Elon tweeting a rocket. It was people, specific posts, specific stories, and the market reacted exactly the way it always does. Quiet at first, then all at once, loud as hell. Today, I'm breaking down 3 stories from this summer. 3 coins, 3 networks, 3 completely different triggers, but the same result every single time. The people who were already positioned, they made money. Everyone else, they watched. Let's get into it. I trade meme coins, and this is exactly the kind of content you came here for. Alright, let's start with Solana. And let's start with the guy that literally everyone in crypto Twitter knows. ANSEM is probably the most well-known degen on all of CT. Anonymous trader, a few years back, he started dropping his takes on Solana, back when SOL was basically worthless and everyone was laughing at the network after the FTX collapse. He never hid the fact that he was a degen. He never pretended to be some serious analyst. He just said, Solana is my bet. I believe in it, I'm buying.
And people felt that because it was real. Over time, his account grew to hundreds of thousands of followers. People tracked his thoughts, copied his trades. He basically became the living, breathing narrative of Solana itself. And then, the way it always happens in this space, someone launched a token with his name on it. Not him, the community. That's the oldest play in the meme coin book. You take a cultural figure, launch a token, and wait. Sometimes it dies the same day. With ANSEM, it went the other way. Why? Because a few things lined up at exactly the right moment. First, ANSEM was going crazy on Twitter around this time, posting constantly. His posts were pulling crazy numbers. Second, Solana was going through a volume renaissance right then. Liquidity was coming back into the network. New traders were flooding in, and they needed their meme, something native to the ecosystem. Third, and this is the most important one, the community around the token started memeing. Good memes, organic memes, actually funny. Not bots, not spam, real people making real content. What happened to the chart? Look at this chart right here. This is the moment the token started moving. Right here, first big volume spike. And here, look at this candle pattern. The market just went straight up, vertical.
Why exactly here? Because right at this moment, ANSEM acknowledged the coin on X. That's the whole game, right there, in its purest form. No technology, no partnerships. One reaction from the right person, and the chart takes off. Where the token is now, here's where it stands today. And I'm going to be straight with you, as a trader. If you got in early, you made your X's. If you bought the hype, you're probably underwater or barely breaking even. That doesn't mean the token is dead. It means it has a strong community, a real narrative, cultural weight. Tokens like that know how to come back, especially when the person behind them gets active again. Lesson number 1 from this summer, a trader's cultural weight equals their token's cultural weight. Watch the people, not the charts. Okay, let's move to a different network, BNB Chain. A lot of you probably wrote off BNB a long time ago. It's just Binance's network, it's full of scams. Look, I get it. I thought the same thing a couple years back. But something interesting happened in the summer of 2026.
Real volume started flowing into BNB. Serious volume. Why? A few reasons. Gas is cheaper than Solana during peak congestion. The infrastructure got a lot better. And, most importantly, CZ came back. CZ is to BNB what ANSEM is to Solana, except times 100. When CZ starts posting actively, money flows into the ecosystem. That's just a market fact. And inside that ecosystem, BIBI showed up. Simple concept, but incredibly well-timed and with an incredibly strong community behind it. Look at how it started.
Quiet, no real hype, and then the right posts started hitting X, this time from CZ himself. When a big player even just likes something connected to a token, that's a signal to the market. The market reads it as approval. Whether that's right or wrong is a whole other conversation, but it works. I want to explain why BNB memes operate differently than Solana memes. On Solana, everything is fast. A token launches, a week of hype, then on to the next one. It's like a conveyor belt. On BNB, it's slower, but it holds better. Different audience, more Asian market. More retail from regions where Binance basically is crypto. And that audience, they know how to hold. They're not scalping 10-minute candles, they get in and they sit. That's why pumps on BNB look different. They grind up instead of just exploding out of nowhere. Where BIBI is now, here's the picture today. By the way, if you want to hear about moves like this before they happen, I post in my Telegram channel. I put information out there faster than these videos come out, and there's a free trading chat where we're actively in the market together. Links in the description. Don't sleep on it. Okay, now for the most interesting one, the story I want to break down in the most detail. Robinhood Chain. If you're hearing this name for the first time, don't feel bad. A lot of people completely missed this launch. That was a mistake. Yeah, that Robinhood, the brokerage app that blew up during the whole GameStop meme frenzy back in 2021. They launched their own network, a layer 2 built on top of Ethereum. The logic makes total sense. Robinhood has tens of millions of users in the US, people who are already holding crypto right inside the app. And now those people have their own network with native tokens and low fees. That's a massive potential wave of new users flowing into DeFi. People who've never touched MetaMask, never traded on a DEX, but they're already in crypto through Robinhood. Who's behind this? It matters to understand who's actually building this. Vlad Tenev, a guy with a genuinely fascinating history in crypto. He went through a congressional hearing after the GME situation, took massive heat, and didn't break. Robinhood didn't just survive, they went deeper into crypto. And launching their own L2, that's not a meme play, that's a strategy. That's a straight-up attempt to become infrastructure. And inside this new ecosystem, CASHCAT shows up. The name says it all, a cat with money. Classic. But let's break down why this token pumped when hundreds of others launched on the same network and went nowhere. First, the narrative. CASHCAT showed up at the right moment. The network had just launched. Volume was picking up. Everyone was looking for the first meme of the ecosystem. It's the same pattern we saw with the first memes on Solana, on Base, on every new network. The first narrative token on a new chain almost always makes the biggest X's. Second, the community. The activity on X around this token is just insane. These aren't bots. The vibe of those comments is completely different. People are genuinely engaged. Third, and this is the key one, the reaction from big accounts. Every single one of those posts was a wave of new buyers. Okay, 3 stories, 3 different networks, 3 different triggers. ANSEM on Solana, that's a personality cult. One person with massive audience trust, and the market votes with its money. BIBI on BNB, that's an ecosystem narrative. The network comes alive, money looks for an entry point, and the first quality meme captures all the attention. CASHCAT on Robinhood Chain, that's new infrastructure plus a massive existing user base plus perfect timing. A perfect storm. 3 completely different stories, but if you were paying attention, you already noticed that all 3 had one thing in common. Nobody who made money was chasing these coins. They were just in the right places, watching the right people, understanding where attention was moving before the crowd did.
And that right there is the most important skill for a meme coin trader in 2026. Not technical analysis, not scalping candles, the ability to read where the next wave of attention is forming. I've been doing this for several years now. I've blown up accounts, I've made real money, I've blown up again. And here's what I know for certain. The biggest money I ever made wasn't from jumping onto a moving train. It was from already being on the platform before the train even pulled in.
CASHCAT, BIBI, ANSEM, all of these stories played out gradually. There were signals, there were moments when you could have gotten in, calmly, no panic, no rushing. Most people just missed those signals, because by the time they heard about it, the chart had already launched. That's exactly why I run my Telegram channel. Not to scream, buy this, buy that, but to share what I'm seeing while it's still early, before it becomes obvious to everyone else. When I started tracking the narrative around Robinhood Chain, I wrote about it in the channel, before this video came out, way before the major crypto media caught on. There's also a free chat, a live community of people who trade meme coins every day. Not bots, not spam, real people in the market every single day. Some of the best ideas I've seen came out of that chat. All the links are in the description. You'll also find the tools and services I personally use for trading and research. Summer 2026 showed us something important. The market isn't dead. Meme coins aren't dead. The rules just changed. Used to be enough to buy some random shitcoin and wait for the bull run. That's not enough anymore. Now, the people who win are the ones who understand narratives, who follow the right people, and who can tell the difference between organic hype and manufactured noise. Solana, BNB, Robinhood Chain. 3 different stories from one summer. And I'm telling you, this isn't the end. Fall is going to bring the next wave. Maybe different networks, maybe different people, but the same exact mechanics. The only question is, will you be on the train, or will you be watching it pull away again? If this video was useful, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and drop a comment. What network are you watching right now? Where do you think the next surge is going to come from this fall? I read every comment. I reply personally. Ride the waves and lock in those profits. See you in the next one.